back.
Hi everyone. Hey.
We have survived the new year.
We're
recording on the 9th of January. I was going to say September. The 9th of September.
Good. Entirely the wrong one. Yes. 9th of January 2022.
Wow.
Kind of
We're
scary.
old.
I don't remember
We're
when our
so
first
old.
episode actually went out. But the
It will
year
be,
has got to be very
about
close.
the 14th. I want to see if it's in my diary because I'll be able to...
14th. Right, hang on. Let me
I might have put it in my calendar last year.
Wait, what did
Oh.
you say?
I said I think we would have recorded on the 17th, so it would have been posted on the 19th.
You are incredibly close. The 14th of January is when our first episode went out.
Damn.
But our
Actually,
second
it
one...
went out on a Thursday.
Yeah, I think we released that on a Thursday for whatever reason. However,
Oh, because we
you
need
can
the
feel a little
time.
bit better because the second one did go out on January the 19th.
Oh my god.
So, congratulations, you've won the prize. The prize is another year on the World's Race podcast.
I love that.
I don't know if that's the prize you wanted. It is the prize you've got.
Woo.
And,
I can't believe we've actually stuck at it. Like, despite all the chaos,
no, me neither.
I know we've not been the most consistent in the last couple of months.
I don't know what you're suggesting.
We have valid excuses.
I've had a valid excuse every time. I had my doctor's note. 1 week, the dog ate my homework, so I'm very well behaved. Thank you very much.
The thing is, I wish, in a few years' time, we could actually talk about some of the reasons we haven't been able to do the podcast. Because
It would be quite. I don't know. Yeah, yeah.
I feel like the last drama that I had, which meant I couldn't do it last minute, was really funny. I just can't talk about it.
One day we'll look back on that and we'll be able to explain it, you know?
Yeah, I've just got to wait a few years.
And until then,
It's
all
one of those
anyone's going to
ones.
have is, oh, that week Chris was dying. You know?
Yeah.
Which is...
I told you this at the time. Not like I wasn't actually dying, but yeah, I thought I had COVID.
I was going to ask you about this. My God.
So yeah, you were having reasonable dramas. Drama makes it sound like it's somebody's fault, but
I know. It was no one's fault. That's the
no one's
annoying
fault.
thing.
A situation
Had developed, and we had to address it.
But Chris, you were dealing with that, and then I was sort of glad that you weren't too keen about doing the podcast that week, so I was still recovering. I tested. I had lateral flow tests, and I tested negative on the PCR test in the end, but I felt so crap that I was just like, The
thing is as well, over that, because the way things had gone with the new variant and stuff, I went back to work this week. The amount of people who either tested positive or were very close to being in contact with someone who's it's kind of weird. Almost everyone I know has some weird COVID story from the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, I felt that as well. Like with the the new variant, it's just really screwed people.
It's just crazy.
I saw quite a lot of people for Christmas because last year we were in lockdown, didn't see anyone, so I was like, well, and because my parents aren't together, and then I've also got it's really complicated. I had to see 3 different sets of family essentially, and I went and visited them all, which was great, but obviously it meant I was in the same room as quite a few different people. So I was like, if I'm going to get COVID, it's probably going to be now. I knew I wasn't going to go out on New Year's Eve because I thought at the time, I'll probably just have a quiet one in case I pick up anything at Christmas. And thankfully I hadn't made any plans because I had a really bad cold. It wasn't quite flu, but I just felt shit. I was sneezing a lot, and I know that sounds like really random, but like my nose was just streaming all the time, and then I was just sneezing, and I didn't really have a cough, but I had a sore throat. And the issue was I couldn't get a PCR test because we
suddenly had none, didn't we?
We had none for like, I think it was about 4 days or 5 days. I couldn't get one, and I know, I eventually got one. I couldn't find the friggin' test centre, so we were like,
how far did you have to go for it in the end?
Luton. So
okay.
not that. I mean, and I don't know Luton very well because I try and avoid it. Luton, like, the roads scare me. Like,
Luton scares me.
Just can't drive there. It just scares the fuck. So anyway, we went there. We couldn't find a test centre for ages, and it turns out it was right round the corner from where we were looking. It just was really badly. Like, there was no big signs. There was like a little A4 sheet of paper on the side of the road.
Tiny little thing.
And it was around by the airport. So we were just literally like driving. There was like planes there. You know, you're like, oh, this feels like we're doing something wrong. No, got the PCR test, and Piers and I both came back negative, which we were sort of surprised about, to be honest. But hey ho. I'd be out of isolation anyway now. But that was a fun beginning. You know, I had so much planned for the beginning of the year. I wanted to get the whole house like deep cleaned before the beginning of the year. But yeah, I did not get my cleaning done before I've had such a boring start to the year, but it's been so productive. And what have you? Because we haven't really spoken that much.
No, we haven't really, have we? What was? Well, okay.
Well, your sister obviously went back to uni.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to get like the whistle stop tour of my week.
Yeah.
And I can't think of all the things I have to say. Last week on the Sunday when we usually record was my sister's birthday, so we moved it to the Monday. And I ended up just not really being up for it because, for some reason, I decided I'd start New Year by having a little bit of a crisis in my brain.
Oh yeah, you were not having a great time. I remember that conversation now.
Oh Lord above it. I was just very the thing about New Year's, it makes you, whether you like it or not, you get very reflective about things and very like, you're thinking back about the previous year and then you're looking forward to the next year. And I was thinking about 2022 and I was like, I don't think I have any real hope for this year, which is a very depressing way to start a year. And then it spiraled into lots of this very, very, very negative thoughts about various things, which actually was a weird thing where I had got it into my head for some reason that I was a real burden to Kat. I just decided my brain had gone down this line of you are the biggest there you go, the biggest disaster. And then the next day I looked at our Instagram.
Oh yeah.
And you'd posted a story up there about not being a burden or something. I was like, you fucking psychic. What's happened here? What is this? I was like, I know we say we're in sync, but this is a worrying level of it. So we ended up talking about that. It was a weird one, but so that was a fun start to New Year. I didn't necessarily start with like, yay, it was all good. I was like, oh, everything is garbage. But no, I mean everything is garbage, but that's just the world we live in, you know. I'm fine. Then my sister went back to university for her second term. She just seems incredibly on it. Like
she always is.
I don't know how she manages it, but she looks very on it. And then, you know what? I've actually had quite a productive week as well.
Really?
It's been very weird. I came into this week, like, not high energy, just like, you know, I was like, okay, well, let's just get started. So we went back to work on Tuesday. And this week at work has been going okay. It's tiring. Like, especially being it's back in the office and back after Christmas. So you're like, and like suddenly working for 7 hours makes you just you feel more exhausted at the end of it.
Yeah.
Because you're like, oh my god, I haven't had to use my brain this hard for 2 weeks.
It's when I was probably just dumbing this down, but like when you came back from the summer holidays and you're like, how do I write?
Yes.
Like how do I do this? And
No,
there's like a
exactly
2-week period of you feeling like a dumbass, and then you suddenly like get back into it.
It is exactly. It's like that moment when you're like, you have to rate. I always find it really. It's when you rate the date at the start of the new school year, and you have to rate your date in the book at the top corner, and you're like,
Yeah.
how do I do this again?
Yeah.
So it's just like getting back into the swing of things. But then I also so I've done a couple of Twitch streams to start the year off, and like I've actually been like, look, this is the sad. I hate it when I have to admit things like this because it makes me sound so sad. But I've been doing some like video editing and stuff, like making clips and stuff, trying to like do a little self promotion, and I've actually really enjoyed it. Like,
Aww.
I'm sat there and playing around with these things, and I'm like, this is actually funny. Like, I actually like what I've done here. Oh, actually, one more update from me. So my friend, I'm on a roll now. My friend bought me a set of guitar picks for Christmas, which I was like, excellent. You always need guitar picks.
Oh yeah.
And these guitar picks have on them. You can't see it, but I'll show you later on. Let me try and like, when your camera won't focus on something because it's like trying to focus on your face. Come on, camera.
At least if it was in 4K, you
Camera.
might have had a better chance.
Camera. Why?
4K.
Okay, it's not doing it, but it does say on it welterweights. And it's really annoying because I've spent so long trying to get it to focus and it still won't do it. I should have just put it here.
Just whack it in 4K.
So they all say welterweights on them. So I'll now be, when I'm playing guitar badly, I'll be able to say that I'm powered by welterweights.
Oh my god, that's so cool. I love
And
that.
I'm very happy.
Clever idea.
It was very cute. I opened it, I was just like, oh. So that was lovely. Anyway, that's the Chris Payne life update done. I know that everyone was on the edge of their seats waiting for it.
I didn't die. I am still alive.
Still alive. Usual problems continue. But life goes on.
I'm impressed. I'm just glad actually, to be fair, because after that conversation we had where you were just like, I don't see how this year's going to be different. And you were not a happy bunny. I was ill at the time, and I was already feeling a bit like shit about the fact that I hadn't got. I think that's the thing. You think, oh, it's the beginning of the new year, new me, all of this shit, and I was like, I'm ill, so I was like, do I look after myself and just forget about New Year's and just chill out and then do all the stuff I was going to do a week later? Or do I just push myself and, make this positive start to the year by self-torturing,
Now, to be clear, which route did you... Oh, you went for a bit of both. Okay.
Yeah, I like... for a couple of days, I tried... funny enough, I cleaned the room I'm in now, which...
Very good.
Is now full of shit because I've cleaned the other rooms, so then the leftovers
You've put stuff into that room.
Yeah, but it's stuff that's not staying in here. It's stuff like the stuff to go to the charity shop and like wedding stuff and things like that. But this is the best room that's out the way. So yeah, I made it sound like my house has many rooms. It doesn't.
She is the lady of the manor.
The lady of the manor.
Yes. I was just gonna say that my friend was listening to the podcast. The
Cute.
last one possibly, where we were talking about going to see Spider-Man.
Oh yeah.
And she was listening to it trying to fall asleep. And apparently it was going really well. And then we discussed how you were confused about why the seats were vibrating and said, "Was that you fat fuck?" And apparently that led her to like burst into laughter. and like completely just lose it. So you know, in terms of falling asleep to the
insomnia.
podcast, if you're trying to fall asleep, you know, take it with a warning that maybe at one point something will happen that ruins it. But I'm still laughing at that, by the way. Yes. Anyway, Dan. I was gonna say, should we go on to the main event of this week?
Oh yeah.
Do you wanna
Fuck.
Do you wanna explain?
Yes. So a few episodes ago, I've lost track of. Oh, sorry. There's actually tears rolling down my face.
I still can't believe you said that.
Tears,
Ongoing
please.
disgrace. It wasn't me. Of course it wasn't me. How could I move
I
the
knew it
seats,
wasn't
everyone?
you. I knew it wasn't you. I just thought it'd be funny.
It was funny, to be fair. Just entirely unexpected.
Such a bad person. I can't even.
Do you want me to try and explain it while you're like recovering?
Yeah,
Okay. A few episodes ago, we did the Desert Island Discs kind of thing, and I put together a playlist and we talked about it and went through it and explained like the stories that we had, and we did that one, and then we wanted to give Kat some time to actually properly come up with a list, because it's actually quite hard to do.
Oh, it's so hard.
It like when you realise that you can't have, well, I mean, you could have this endless list. Like, if I was to make a long list of like the songs that like I would just put in there as like over my life and like milestones and things, I could, but it would be about 40 or 50 songs long, and then I still wouldn't be happy with it. But we set ourselves this thing of trying to cut it down to like 8 or 9. So we took a bit longer, and then when I was asking Kat what we were going to talk about this week, she said that she had it ready to go. So
Yeah, it's really like I took the whole concept of being in the desert island, and I thought, right, this doesn't mean these are my all-time favourite songs.
yes,
This is what I would want in my collection if I was stuck on a desert island. I know that sounds stupid, but I was trying for the first 15 minutes to think of what my favourite songs are, and then I thought, oh, that's a bit depressing.
Can I say, if I was stuck on a desert island and these were the songs that I had, these would be absolute bangers.
Yeah, and that was the thing. Like, I was like, I need something to remind me of humanity and not keen.
I was very excited when I was looking through it, and I was like, these are excellent choices. Like, these are great.
I'll start off with Hurts Like Heaven.
Yes.
Because it is the first on my list. And it's a bop. Alright? I'm probably going to say that a lot. I say it in every podcast. It's a bop.
It is a bop. Can I just say that?
But it's a fucking bop. And if Chris wasn't on the desert island with me, then that would be the reminder of our friendship.
Oh.
And I thought about putting Ink in but then I was like, Ink it would just make me sad. I'd be like, oh no, he's gone, I miss him. Whereas Hurts Like Heaven would be like, oh, I don't know where that fucker is, but like, I'm gonna party while I think about him.
That's the thing, it does kind of get you going, right? It's just like,
yeah,
it's the thing I found. It just like it gives me some kind of weird energy. I'm just like, this is good.
I just want to bop, like do some really stupid, really, really white dancing. Like with no rhythm, just look like an absolute like.
Sometimes I think about the amount of people who have driven past me while I'm driving and the song is on, and they'll have seen me having a full in-car concert, like belting it out, really going for it, like. So
Yeah, And to be honest, I think I couldn't go without a Coldplay song, honestly. Like, I think it would just... I'd forget what... If you were on a desert island for long enough, I feel like you would forget what songs sounded like. And
You would, yeah,
if that
definitely.
happened with Coldplay, that would make me a bit sad, because that's the thing. Coldplay is like the band that, you know, for my teenage years, there was a song for each year that I could think of memories
You're welcome.
associated. Yeah, that's your fault.
You wouldn't even be able to escape it if you wanted to. I'd be forcing another one in there.
To be honest, the like Hurts Like Heaven and Charlie Brown era, that was quite, like, I'd say that was quite early on in our friendship as well.
Yeah.
And then I'd say like Sky Full of Stars, I always think of us in that church practicing in Sony, which was cool. And then I think of Ink, I think of us being separated and like listening to that song, you know, when we couldn't see each other. And
It came on in the car the other day. I had Ghost Stories on. It came on in the car, and it came on. I was like, oh, I don't know if I can keep driving with this on right now. I might have to take it out.
You know, I have that with Claire de Lune. I can't, if it's on a film, I have to skip the scene. I'm like, no. Or I just like tune it out. I'm like, no. This like, it's crazy how a song, like, I'm saying this as someone who's done a master's in fucking music, but I think you can sometimes take for granted what music can do to you. Like, when I hear Claire de Lune, it takes me back to, you know, the day I left school, and it's just this like traumatic like so upset, and it every time I hear it, it like hurts a part of me. And it's crazy because, you know, I'm 10 years on from that now, nearly 10 years on from that, or maybe not 10 years on, that might be a bit, I'm quite a few years past that date, and like everything's good now, but it's still just...
The emotions are still there, right? They're still...
Yeah, and you kind of
connected
forget that. I actually went through the other day and was listening... I went through all my old playlists. I was like, damn, I was angry for that year. I was like, damn. And then it'd be like, oh, I was heartbroken that year. And it's just funny how songs can just remind you of different memories and places, and just, yeah.
In December, I was going through... I have these like playlists on my computer, on my computer, on Spotify. I have one for like every year since 2015, and it's just like,
oh yeah,
whenever I found a new song or a song that I really was loving at the time, it went on these playlists, and I still do it now.
Cool.
But it means that when you're listening to them, it's like you can't help but have the memories come back to it. Suddenly you're like,
yeah,
oh my god, I was listening to this here and this had happened, and suddenly you're like, oh wow, I'd almost forgotten all about this. Like this.
Yeah.
It's crazy what it does. It's crazy.
Yeah, you explained that a bit better. Like, that's the thing. It's like you've forgotten until you hear that song, and then you suddenly remember a bunch of stuff. I'd actually recommend that. This homework for... Sorry, I'm still quite congested. So if my voice is really annoying, I'm sorry. I just, you know, when you can hear it. You know, you can hear it in your voice, and you're just like, oh my god, I sound so annoying.
I actually thought you sounded fine. So.
Oh, okay.
Now I can hear it. It's like, now I can hear it, I can't unhear it.
Fuck's sake. What was I going to say? I was going to say, oh, that's your homework for the week, is to go through your old playlists and just sort of see where the memories take you. Oh, that's so cringe.
No, I agree. It is. I feel like you'd be surprised at what... Just listen and like really go for it as well. Don't just like half listen. Like,
oh yeah, I cried. I literally
properly listen. Yeah,
I hadn't cried in quite a long time. I can't even like. I don't know. I
Can't relate.
No, do you know what? I genuinely think that I normally cry when it's like it's a certain time of the month due to my period, but like it's not necessarily on my period. It's like a few days before, and for some reason I'll just like be crying, but I'm not actually that upset. It's just. But then when I was listening to the songs, it kind of felt like therapy because I just timed it right. It was like just before my period, and it was also I don't know. I was feeling things instead of just crying for the sake of it.
It is when you really let yourself just feel without anything else in there. It's crazy what it can kind of just do to you.
Yeah, definitely. And I hadn't done it for so long. Like, normally if I cry, this is gonna sound really awful, but it's not any like it's not a bad thing. I normally cry if Piers and I are having an argument, and it's not like
that sounds pretty normal.
Yeah, but it's not like Piers is being horrible to me and I'm crying. It's like I get angry and then I cry, or I cry because I know I'm in the wrong. Something like that. And I think the other thing is like, say Piers and I were having an argument and I was really angry. Like, if I was by myself, I would have no problem with like punching something or like, you know, kicking something. Like, not I don't know, just for the release aspect. But if you're having an argument with someone and then you do that, it's kind of like you're being aggressive. So obviously you can't do that, so I just cry.
No, I feel it. Yeah,
but because I hadn't done it in ages, it was just a really therapeutic moment, which was nice. So I was really productive as well after.
I have this. It's like I'm crying. Something like I listen to something and it makes me sad because of something that happened at the time that made me sad, and it's not. It's not like I'm still sad about that thing. It's just like it's almost like I can't help but cry, especially because you think of how sad you were, and you're like, oh my god, I can't believe I was that sad, and it makes you cry because it's heartbreaking. And
are you like there's things, I guess, when I was younger that I just accepted, and then and now you're older, then you go, I shouldn't have let someone treat me like that, or like you're sad about the fact you were in that situation as well, like
100.
Yeah, and I think that's probably good to do. You know, I think you're allowed to be sad about, I don't know, having to deal with so much when you're younger or anything.
I think you
like
can
that.
be. I think sometimes people say you shouldn't like hold grudges and things with me, but I'm like, no, okay, that's fair. But also, you have to address the fact that sometimes someone didn't treat you right, or something wasn't fair for you to have to deal with, and you did deal with it, and that's, okay, congrats. But you're allowed to be angry about it 10 years on and be processing it still and getting through it. And sometimes you don't realise it. You need to feel angry and have a cry about something, and you're like, wow, it's the first time I've allowed myself to be like, yes, this was terrible. This person treated me badly, and I can admit that. And there's like a little bit of weird forgiveness that you finally give yourself, and it can really help you in ways you don't quite understand. But yeah,
check us out. Like,
I also get the being productive thing, because it's like, my start to the new year horrific. The week following that, I've actually had quite a good week.
That's good.
Yeah, it's insane.
I think sometimes you need to have a breakdown to then like start again and be motivated.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I've with this week, I've actually just so much random shit. I was saying this to Piers that he was a bit upset because he hasn't been in the studio very much, and neither of us have really been focusing on band stuff lately. But we have been up every morning by about 8 and been non-stop till I think Piers went to bed about 1:30 last night.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I went to bed about an hour and a half before him. I literally got to that point where you're like, I'm going to fall asleep standing up. Yeah, and for someone with insomnia, that's pretty tired. And I think that's the fastest I've fallen asleep in years. I put my head on the pillow and I was asleep. And it was just such a weird thing. And I normally can't sleep if Pierce is in the next room doing stuff because, like, my mind won't switch off until he's in bed, so I know what's going on. Didn't check the house was locked. Didn't check that it. Even like, well, Pippin, bless him, he ended up getting in the bed because Piers. I normally turn the heating off before I went to bed, but I was so tired I forgot. So I normally get into bed a little bit before Piers. So by the time Piers gets into bed, the house has cooled down. Because he can't, like, neither of us can stand sleeping when it's really hot at night.
Yeah. No, I get that.
But because I hadn't done it, he then opened the window and then fell asleep with the window open, and with no heating on and the window open in January.
God, and the winter. Oh Lord.
Fucking cold. And poor Pippin, I've been putting his jacket on at night so he doesn't get cold. Because he does this thing he's got a duvet and he's got a little blanket, but he scrabbles in the night and then wakes us up. So I'd taken the duvet off him, left him with the blanket, but because the window's open, he was really freezing, and he like hopped into bed and like slept between Pierce and I, but Peg was already in the bed, and it was just like, I would have been upset if I wasn't so cold, so I was like clinging on to him for dear life for the warmth. But it's stuff like that, like I wouldn't be able to sleep till I knew he was sorted out and all that, but I just fell asleep so quickly.
That's the thing with sometimes with insomnia, you find that if you're like, it's the thing I found, if you're feeling that tired that you could feel like your head would hit the pillow and you'd be gone, you almost don't want to interrupt it. Like, I'm just going to take the opportunity while it's here, because if I wait 10 minutes, it might be gone and I might not be able to sleep. So I've got to just power through, get into bed, close my eyes and take this opportunity. So honestly, I get that.
And it was just so, and that's the thing I was trying to say to Piers, is I was sort of doing the whole, be kind to yourself. We've been busy every day, and it's stuff like, Piers drove to Devon and back in one day to collect a new boiler, because we're going to have to get that fitted.
That is no small thing. Like, driving to Devon is enough to make you feel shattered.
Yeah. And
driving there and back.
And he hasn't caught up on sleep from that. We're both dieting. We're both doing it's not, I'm not really dieting too much. It's more of like a fitness thing. I'm like reading each day and trying to drink 3 litres of water, just doing that sort of like health kick. And I think the combination of all of that is just, it is just like suddenly hit yesterday. I was just so tired. But yeah, we've gone and got like a load of new furniture and all stuff. Anyway, and the thing is, I would love to tell you about it, but it is so boring and so adult that I'd actually bore myself.
Oh my God, we're so adult now.
I know, it's just a Facebook Marketplace. I've got to the age where Facebook Marketplace is where I spend my evenings trying to look for cheap furniture to replace my art. But yeah,
I never thought this day would come for us.
Yeah, no, neither did I. I don't know. Do you know, it's 10 years since we were 13, which I just find...
Why do people keep telling me things like this? Oh...
I know, I realised it yesterday. I know it sounds so stupid, because, I'm 23, but you just...
Oh, I'm going to be 23 this year.
Yeah, you are.
Oh,
join the club. But you think that, and you're like, how... that's so rad. I don't know, it's just so weird.
It's weird when you think... Because when I was listening to the music, I was like... sometimes I still feel the same idiot... scared and weird 13-year-old.
Yeah.
And then sometimes I'm like, but as a 13-year-old, I probably felt like mentally like it just probably not that far off as I do now. I don't know. It's like I've definitely changed since then, but I'm also still at my core the same anxious, depressed, pessimistic, or not pessimistic, realistic kind of person. It's just that basically I've picked up a load of responsibilities and learned a couple of different ways of coping with things, and also you've had experiences of things that you didn't have experiences with before. It's weird. It's like somehow you've changed almost entirely, and yet at the same time you haven't actually changed at all, and I can't deal with it. My brain's just like,
Yeah.
what?
No, it is. I was thinking this is like a really random little anecdote, I guess. I don't know, but there's. I mean, did you ever try a cigarette or anything like that?
No, I never have. Never have.
Oh wow, I'm so impressed because that was the thing. I couldn't remember you telling me.
Boy.
Jesus, oh my god, you're gonna go off the rails when you're 40. It's gonna be hilarious.
I know.
No,
I can't wait for the midlife crisis. Wait till you see the convertible.
Oh, you'd be driving your convertible on cocaine, prostitute in the back.
Oh man, it's gonna be wild times. Stay tuned. I look forward to the World Rights podcast in 2042 when I've completely fucking cracked.
You know when mums always say, "Oh yeah, mums know everything. You can't do anything without me knowing." And it's like the idea of the kid coming back in and they stink of deodorant and they've got a Polo in their mouth or a Mento in their mouth, and the mum goes, "You've been smoking," and they're washing their hands. and, no, how would you know? And it's that idea of
you think you've done such a good job as someone young. You're like, oh, I've nailed it. They're never gonna realize it.
Yeah,
and the other looks at you and you're like, I know.
Yeah,
I can
I know
literally
this
see.
trick. Been there,
you
done
don't
that.
think I've done this myself?
Yeah, it is a bit like that, and I think that's just the realization that you've got the experience to like call your teenage self out. Makes me laugh. I probably worded that quite badly, but yeah, no.
I enjoyed it anyway.
It's a funny idea.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, I'll go on to my next song because this thing I could just chat about random crap.
Easy.
But John McCamper, I'm still upset that you didn't have him in your
No,
list,
don't. Oh, why would you address that? Right? Why would you address that?
I kept every time when I was making mine, I was like, do I just put 3 John McCamper songs in just so I make up for Chris's failure?
Look, okay, we've said it before and I'll say it again. We love Jordan McCamper here. We're big fans. You know, he won the Jordan McCamper Award. Like,
he did.
It was a very short list of 1. And he was the only one on it. We're big fans. If you haven't listened to Jordan McCamper by now, first of all, are you even really a fan of the World Rights podcast?
No.
And secondly, pause this right now. Well, I want you to pause it, go listen, and then come back and we'll carry on. Alright? But also, yes, again, I'm going to be apologising for this for years to come. It was a mistake, and I am sorry. Please forgive.
To be honest, you know when you see comments on social media where it's like, we need to protect this child or we need to protect this soul. There's the guy who cycles penny bikes. Are they called penny bikes?
Yeah, I know what you're doing. Yeah.
And there's always people saying we need to protect him, like, you know, he's so precious.
Or the guy on TikTok, the one who is really into, like, is it trains? I think he's really into.
Oh, trains. Yeah,
the
there's him as well. Yeah, he's gone so viral recently.
He really has.
But it's like that idea of someone we need to protect with every force of nature, like every power in me. We are protecting Jordan McCamper. No one is taking that man away from us.
Yes. I support this decision.
Yeah, start the petition. Save John McCamper. John McCamper's like, save me from what?
Say, I'm fine. Guys, like, no, we understand, but we're going to continue to save you. You know.
But I put his song Saint down because I was having a hard time picking which one, because his newest stuff, I love the production on. There's a lot more going on in terms of instrumental stuff, and I find that really, I don't know, it's a beautiful element of modern production. But I had to put Saint down because I love his songwriting in it, and it was the first Jordan McCamp song I fell in love with, so that's why I chose that song. I just love the message in it, about Adam and Eve, and them not being perfect beings and stuff like that. I think that's just really cool, and I wanted, his voice soothes my soul, and just be on a desert island just chilling, You've got Hurts Like Heaven to do your midnight rave, and then you've got John McCamp at 3 p.m. I've made some cocktail which is probably poisonous berries, and I'm just chilling, Sorry, what are you gonna say?
No, I was just saying, I couldn't help myself, so I just put it on in the background here, and immediately had to stop myself from just singing immediately. I just wanted to say, and no.
That's when I was gonna try and explain, my interpreted message of the song. I was running through the lyrics in my head, and I would literally quote the lyrics if I try and explain it, so I just left it.
The thing about it's in this, I mean, all his music, of course, but in this song, I'm just you listen to his voice, and you're just could you just teach me, just tell me what I have to do to make my voice better, because it just, I hate it, and I love it.
It's just effortless, isn't it? It just I mean, he's probably worked very, very hard, but you just
yeah, absolutely. He's clearly trained and worked and made sure to perfect it, whereas I have not done this.
Every day I'm angry. I'm like, why is my voice not better? And it's because I don't do anything about it.
Exactly.
Damn.
But
did you ever have?
Go on.
I'm so random. Did you ever have it when you went for a run and you thought, if you thought about being good long enough, that you'd will yourself into being good?
Yes, literally. And to be fair, sometimes it I did this thing. I have to pause it. I can't. It's gonna make me sing, and I can't sing. Where I would just in my mind, I would just visualize myself, a few imagine it's 2 minutes ahead, and I'd be okay, if I just think about making it there, then I'll do it. And to be fair, it does actually weirdly work when you're running, where you're just if I just don't stop running, I can make it.
If I don't breathe.
Obviously, in your mind, you look like Mo Farah, whereas in reality, you look like what would happen if the Teletubbies were doing a marathon. It's a very different look, but you still manage to do it somehow. You just don't ever. But I've definitely done it with lots of things. I'm I do it sometimes when I'm playing guitar, and I'm if I just will myself to be better, I will just be able to play this. Then you play it again, this is worse. I just made it worse than it was last time. How's this happened?
Do you ever do that thing where you're this is the time, one more time, I'm going to play this, I'm going to do it one more time, and then you do it 500 more times.
that happens to be the worst time you've done it yet, and you're okay, so that wasn't the time, but that's okay, this time. This is the one. You set it up, you record perfect. First note.
One of the reasons I play music a lot less now I live with Piers is that I swear at myself so much when I'm practicing, and I don't want him to hear me and be are you okay? So I just don't, because when I play violin or something, I mess up on it. For fuck's sake, you're so stupid, why can't you do that?
I do this, and I'm if anyone else listens to this, they're going to be you need help.
Yeah, I need to get over that, because at some point I'm just gonna. But I don't know. You just feel.
No, I say you lean into it. Let's go live on the road, and then it'll be me and you. But every time you make a mistake, we just shout, "Fuck! Why did you do it? You fucking idiot! Why?" Suddenly having a breakdown. The other one has then got to continue somehow, despite the fact that one of us has just stopped and is losing it.
I
and
think
you
we
come
could
back in.
perfect that, you know. I think we could manage that, and people would be like, "Do you not care about them?" Like, if
Yeah.
I'm just there continuing to play while you're having a breakdown.
No, I agree. This era of like Jordan, it makes it sound like I'm about to say I hate what he's done now. No, I don't. I love what he's doing now. But it's definitely like this is again like you. It's probably it's when I first discovered him. So
Yeah.
I will forever love that sound and that time and the songs that came out of that time. You know, I told you before, like I really love the song Battle Cry, which came out
Yeah.
about the same time. And I just can never. It's that same like feeling to it, and even with Coldplay, it's like I appreciate the things they put out always, and I'm so excited to see them develop and change. It doesn't change the fact that for me, I will always love the Milo Zydeco sound.
Yeah.
Because it is when I like properly got into them, and I just like I don't know, you form maybe an attachment to that sound and that thing. I'm not saying I want them to stay that way forever. In fact, I really don't want them to. Like I want them to keep changing and developing. But I will always that will always have a special place for me.
Yeah, I get
and
that.
likewise, this kind of era of Jordan McCann, those songs, like, yeah, there's something about them that will always have that special kind of place. So I agree, definitely. Yeah, it's weird when this happens.
Yeah. So normally when I record on my phone, I stop the clips every 20 minutes, as you'll know from editing. So it's easier to send.
Oh my god, it's going to be continuous.
This should be continuous, which is
Ugh.
I don't know if I might have to like cut it into clips when I try and send it to you.
No, it's fair. It's just oh my god. Oof.
But I'm gonna the reason I was gonna stop it, but because it makes that doop doop.
Oh no, we can't. We're not doing that again.
I was like, I'm not gonna repeat that. So
Hell no.
let's just see what happens. This is an episode of experimentation.
Yes, I have a new mic, so I'm still trying to work out the right levels and everything. Kat's trying a new way of recording things.
I have a new XLR, which I kept promising Chris I would change over and didn't.
Oh
for
yeah,
ages.
we'll see if that makes a difference. Actually, yeah.
And I don't have a dodgy aux anymore. And
Yeah, it's not going to be that Cat moves her head slightly and goes, oh, I can't hear you. Oh,
yeah,
oh.
which happens a lot. I mean,
It
you
did
guys
happen
wouldn't
a
know how much that would happen because Chris edits it out most of the time, I think, so.
I have to. No one wants to. No one wants to hear us going. This isn't working. Hang on a second. Hang on. The camera's not working.
Yeah.
No one wants that.
Oh, I should move on to. Wait, we weren't finishing a point off, were we? We were just chatting
No,
about
I think
Xbox.
we were rambling.
Cool. I'll move on to "Make 'Em Like You" by Tom Grennan.
Haven't heard this in ages, can I say?
This reminds me of. I think it was the summer between first year and the second year.
Yeah, that would be about right.
I think that's it might have been second year, but I think it was between the two, because I have a vague recollection of listening to the album in our flat in first year, but I might be wrong. But I looked at the whole. Well, I had to choose one Tom Grennan song, and oh my god, that was causing me pain. But I was looking through, and the whole time I had "Make 'Em Like You" stuck in my head. I saw the name, and then I was like looking through all of his songs, and I just couldn't get it out of my head. I was like, well, it's obviously that one then. but not for any real reason, just that it got stuck in my head and that it was making me sing along and dance in my head, and I just had this idea of me this is so dumb, going around chopping coconuts with a pine tree they don't make them like you. Just don't know.
Oh my god, that's excellent.
And yeah, I just thought that was good banter.
That's excellent. I love that. Yeah, it's definitely when you were saying first year and second year, I was like, because I remember again on the same album, it's the song Found What I've Been Looking For.
Yeah, that
And that
was used
song
on so many
was.
things.
So at that time, It was definitely, yeah, it was in that, like, first year, second year thing, because I'd started working, um, tutoring.
Oh yeah,
So I was going up to Birmingham. I'd moved home for the summer, but I was also going up to Birmingham every now and
yeah,
then for, like, work. And so in the morning, a lot of time I'd wake up and you have the same radio station on, and for some reason, they kept playing the song at the time. I guess it was what they were pushing. Um,
oh,
but it definitely, again, it's just one of those songs that just makes you go, whoa, oh, I remember that.
yeah,
But yeah, it was a sound that he had with this, which he's like, his most recent album is still Tom Grennan, but it's a different sound. Like, it's
yeah.
definitely
It's a
developed, it's
new.
changed.
Yeah, it's like an older Tom Grennan. Like I've learned some lessons and I've
Yeah,
experienced some more things.
exactly. So again, at this, like, era, I kind of, I have some nostalgia for it. Can you have nostalgia for something that was only like 4 years ago? I think so. Yeah,
Yeah, no, I think when you
yeah.
leave university, that's a new era. Like it's
Mm.
sad because you think about when I was at university, even if it was only a year ago, you're still
I've
like,
been saying that so often. It's like, oh, when I was at uni, and I was like, oh man,
yeah, it's
you're only
really
22.
aging.
Jesus Christ.
I'm embracing it. Like I was for the first few months. You might have this actually. So I'm just gonna give you insight. The first few months of being 23, I was like, 23 is such an ugly age. I don't, I don't know why. I was just like, 23. And but then I was just like, I can do whatever the fuck I want, and it's not like I'm 18, I can do whatever I want sort of thing, because it's kind of scarier at that point, because you're like, oh, I can go and fly somewhere by myself, or like, oh, I can go and buy as much alcohol or cigarettes or whatever, a lottery card. You can do everything, and it's sort of, it's exciting, but it's also like, oh, this is weird. But you've sort of got over that point by hello. Sorry, dogs saying hello. By 23, and I just woke up. I think it was when I realised that 13-year-old me would be, not necessarily thought I was really cool, but would be proud. Would be like, damn, like, you've got everything. Like, I mean, I might have said I wanted a fancy fucking sports car by this age. I don't know, like, whatever 13-year-olds do. But, like, I was thinking, I've got dogs. I've got dogs. And I was just like, oh, 13-year-old me would be so happy about that. And so
I have this
should be happy
theory
about
about
that.
being like, I think that 22 is the last kind of age where you're like really considered young, if you get me.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
because it's like that thing, right? So when I turned 22, everyone's like, everyone was singing the Taylor Swift song at me, you know.
Yeah.
Everyone's going for it, and it's like, yeah, you have that kind of thing, like 22, carefree, whatever. There's something about that jump from 22 to 23 which is nothing, but it's like, by that point, it's like you have matured a little bit more, and like, I don't. It's like people stop seeing you as just like young. Like, you're still young, but people don't see you necessarily that way anymore, and you've kind of got your grasp on how things are going, and you're starting to, you know, like, I have multiple friends now who are engaged and things, and like, I know
Cough,
people
cough,
who
wink,
are
wink.
putting deposits down on houses, and we've got jobs, and thinking about promotions, and you know, and also like, kind of like we were saying it before the podcast, you know, like, you realize that you want to, like, settle down a bit, and kind of like find someone to like have a proper relationship with, not just like anything casual with. It definitely, there's something that switches at 23, which is very weird, and The weird thing is, if I went back to how I was at 13 and I was able to be like, this is what you're going to be like in 10 years, it would have blown that fucking kid's mind.
Yeah.
Because I don't think
Yeah.
I had any concept of what I would. I I think I was terrified about the future because I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I didn't really know where I was going to end up. Like, I had no idea. That I think I just couldn't even visualize it. Like, there was no way for me to imagine what I could do because I was just like, this is overwhelming. I can barely deal with things as it is. How am I going to imagine the future? So, if my 13-year-old self could see what, like, all the things that have happened since, it'd probably be like insane.
Yeah.
Because I guess at that point all you can imagine is being 13 years old but having a job or something and things. You can't actually visualize being 23 or whatever.
No.
Whereas now I'm here and, like, I go to meetings and I'm considered an expert on something and people are listening to me as I explain
God.
something, or you're doing things and, like, people are looking up to you and asking you questions about things. It's like, it's these things that you just never could imagine 10 years
Yeah.
ago.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy. But
It
I do
is.
think that something about turning 23 is like, you're not, you're kind of like, if university is like a kind of like a book, end of university is like a kind of bookmark. I think turning 23 is definitely like, again, it's like that new kind of like chapter. It's like, that was like the first kind of thing. We did that. We've gone through it. We've gone through growing up, going to university, doing all the rest of it. When you turn 23, it's like, right,
The beginning
now
of
we're
your
kind of an
adult
adult.
years. Yeah. Yeah. You're not a
And
young adult.
you,
You're a
you, you
proper
start getting a bit
adult.
serious about things. Things become a bit more. So it's a bit less carefree, but not in a bad way necessarily. Just like, okay, now I'm thinking about these things and like
Mortgages and
mortgages. Do you want to have
long-term
kids
career
someday? And do you want to
moves
find
and
someone you can be with? And all that. What kind of job do you want to actually do moving forward? All these kind of things that are like big
where do
questions.
you want to live?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Because it's like, I think you have to, the way the housing market and stuff is at the moment, that you have to think about things at such a young age, and you've got to decide, like, where. I think that's one thing that blows my mind, is you've got to decide where you want to live pretty much for the rest of your life at such a young age. Like, not necessarily the rest of your life, but like enough to, say you're looking at buying a house, and say you manage to scrape together the deposit and sort out a mortgage or whatever in your early mid-20s, and then you found a place and you decide to live there, and then it's like, oh, okay, well, I'm going to be there for the next 10, 20,
Yeah,
30.
when you buy a house, that's not like a short-term thing. You're not going to sell it within the year.
Yeah, and it's just crazy that in the first sort of first 25 years of your life or 30 years of your life, you're like in charge of so much. I don't know. Just
No, I agree. It is kind of great. Definitely, I made the decision at 18 years. Oh, I need a job. I need to get a job. Okay. Oh, here's a job in Milton Keynes. It's not too far from my parents live. Apply. Great. And it's like, those decisions now kind of like mean a bit more, because it's like, I couldn't just move somewhere else now. I would have to find a job or try and work out whether I could still do my job, and like,
you're trapped.
you've chosen a path, and it's like, oh, this changes things up a bit, and it's like, you can still change the direction of things, and you can you go, fuck it, I'll try something new. But it's like, it is weird when suddenly you realize, oh, I've got to deal with what me a year ago chose to do, and now I have to actually think about it a bit more, and I can't just be like, like going to uni. You could just be like, I want to go to uni. I'll study. I don't know, English, whatever. People just pick a degree. They're like, I've got to go to uni. I'll pick something. And then once you finish that, you're like, oh, now I have to deal with the consequences of that. I did a degree in this.
So I need to make it worthwhile.
Yeah. It's weird. You suddenly your actions finally have more consequences that you can actually deal, and you probably will have to deal with sooner. You know, like, what degree shall I do? Oh, I'll pick anything. I've got 3 years to get through uni, whatever. Now it's like, okay, we did that. Now I'll pick a job, and how is that going to help me with what I need to do next? There's so many other layers. It's crazy, but at the same time, it's like it is kind of free because you don't have to deal with some of the you have more decisions, but you also have more control over your life, right? Like, you're no longer like, oh well, I've got to be home by 7 o'clock, or
I can eat ice cream for breakfast.
Yeah,
it's
like
funny
the
how
thing.
like
It's like I come back in the house these days, and I've gone to like Tesco, and I've carrying 2 like tubs of Ben and Jerry's, whatever, and I put it in the freezer, and I'm like, there's a part of me that like, I know, well, it was on sale. But if it's on sale, I'm going for it. If it's not on sale, I'm like, well, fuck that this week. I mean, normally it's okay. Adult mode. This is it. This is adulthood right here. At Tesco, they keep switching the like. So one week it will be Ben and Jerry's on sale. The next week it will be
Häagen-Dazs.
Häagen-Dazs, yeah, exactly.
Whatever.
So I'll just switch it up. Every time one's on sale, I'll go for that one. And I come back in,
you're
and it's
an
like,
ice cream fiend.
I am. I really am. I'm a nightmare for it. I can't help myself. But when you're younger, you're like, oh, I want to try and smuggle it into the house and put it in the freezer and stuff. Now I'm just walking in, putting it in the freezer. It's like, yeah, that's mine. I'll be having that later. Looking at my mum in the eyes, and she's like, you can tell that there's a part of her that's like, what are you doing? And there's me there like, yes, I know this is a terrible decision, he says, placing 2 tubs of ice cream into the freezer. But it's the choice I've made. And it's my money that I'm spending. It's like, it's my money that I'm spending, so you can't even complain.
Are you trying to convince me or your mum or yourself?
I don't know. Someone's trying to convince, but there's definitely like there's an element of, I feel like I have to justify this, but also I don't have to. I can just buy the ice cream. So I guess what I'm saying is I eat too much ice cream, but also I accept the responsibility of that. I made the decision myself. I have complete agency, and so when I develop lactose intolerance, I will only have myself to blame.
Oh God, lactose. Oh, they just destroy my life. I love cheese. I love just.
What's next for you on the allergy list, do you think?
I don't know.
I'm excited. 2022 is going to bring a new allergy to your life. I can see it now.
Honestly, it's just embarrassing. I was trying
as long as you don't become
explain-
allergic to tea or something, then we'll be alright.
Oh no.
You become allergic to tea, I'm probably just going to have to bin you.
Oh my God, I gave my nan, so I still got some of those Tea Pigs Rooibos that you gave me.
Oh yeah.
Because I'm like, I treat myself.
Have they been good, by the way?
So good. I'd actually argue like best Rooibos, like, unless you're in
Whoa.
South Africa, like unless you're in South Africa, I'd say, but like, because I always
That's a
used to
win.
get the I can't think of the fucking brand. I'll Google it. I'll do it on my phone. Oh my God, I can do that
you
now.
can use your phone for that, yeah.
This is so suave.
Use your
Suave.
bitch. Say suave.
Suave. So that was so Milton Keynes.
Jesus Christ.
But what the fuck was I saying?
You were telling me about the robust team.
Yeah, Rooibos tea. I was
You gave
gonna
it to your
tell you
nan.
what. Oh my God. I didn't leave the tea bag in lock. They were her and my uncle were stood in the kitchen, and you know, and you feel like time pressured. So I didn't leave the tea bag in long enough, and I made the palest fucking tea ever. And she's like, "No, it's fine." I was like, "It's fucking not fine."
It's not fine.
But
she's saying it and she's drinking it and she's like,
and she doesn't have sugar in it either, so it's not like. And you know, and you're like, it's more awkward if I pour it down the sink and start again. So I've just got to accept the fact that and the thing was, I'd put sugar in mine already, so she wouldn't have that, and mine was darker and looked nice. TikTok. I did think it was TikTok, but I thought I'd sound like a fucking idiot if I'd said that the tea.
And to be fair, if you just said that, I would have been like, no, Kat, that's the app. The app is called TikTok, you dummy. Now I would sound like a dummy. So
yeah, No, it's
Still
and that's good, but the T Pigs is a step up.
nice.
So
Glad to hear it. It's gone well. Also, sorry to hear that you made your nan a disappointing cup of tea.
I know, it's traumatic. I was so embarrassed. And she normally makes really good tea as well. And she's one of those people who makes an effort to remember how you like it.
Oh no. Oh,
Yeah,
that's
one of
even.
those
You really let her
bastards.
down. I don't want to
I
make you feel
know.
bad here, but you really let her down.
How I let her down, you know.
How you let her down.
Moving on, I chose "Get Better" by Frank Turner, which is one of my all-time favorite songs.
You chose a positive song for negative people.
Yes, that is correct.
Wink.
Wink, wink. No, Frank. This song is essentially drawing a line, starting again, realizing you haven't been the best. I'm trying not to take lyrics from the song. You haven't been the best that
Go
you
on,
can
keep
be.
going.
You haven't been the best that you can be, so you're trying to get better. What is wrong
Yeah.
with me?
Go on. Uh-huh.
You're trying to get better, so you just need to draw a line in the sand, start again, start
Yeah.
fresh, and get better. Simple as that. And I just
Okay.
think, if you're having a bad day in a desert, you could be like, right, I'm gonna get better. I'm gonna be better at making my hut today. I don't.
You're gonna fix the mess.
I'm gonna be productive. That's like I'm feeling sorry for myself, but it's gonna be a game changing day tomorrow.
Nice. You could get better because you're not dead yet.
Exactly. Shut up. Oh my god, I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you.
I won't lie to you. The second you started quoting, I was just like, okay, let me find the lyrics and let me work out how I can make this work. Here we go.
I was so impressed.
I know that you've Frank Turner and Tom Grennan as well have been people that you've been telling me about for years and following them for years. I know that, so it's good to see them on here. And Jerry is I'm realizing it just as I look at it. I'm like, I haven't listened to this in ages. I haven't listened to Frank Turner in so long.
I think you have to be in the right sort of mood, and he's I don't know. I wouldn't class him as easy listening.
No, I would agree with that.
And I think when you're younger, oh my god, I'm at that age. When you're younger,
I told you. That's it. You've reached that line.
When you're in your teenage years, when you listen to music, I found that I listened to stuff that suited my mood, whereas now I think I listen to stuff that I want my mood to be. I don't know, I'm wording that badly. So if I listen to Jordan McCamper, it's because I'm trying to chill out. I want to be thoughtful, and I want to just have some candles lit and just chill. I don't know why I did some weird
I'm looking forward to that in the edit.
Fuck my life. Whereas when I was younger, Frank Turner was my anthem. It was I felt angry at the world, and I wanted to change stuff, and I think I still have that, but you have to be in the right headspace because you can't emotionally deal with that every 5 seconds.
No, it's exhausting, definitely. Yeah, Frank Turner's definitely one of those things. I wouldn't listen to it if I was feeling sad. I would not turn to Frank Turner because Frank Turner's this weird kind of I'd listen to Frank Turner if I was angry, or if I needed pumping up for something, or it's not really a thing I'd go to if I'm just everything is garbage and I want to fall asleep.
Yeah,
I made just about as much of a mess of that as you thought you did. If anything, mine was worse. So there you go. I'll just edit that out.
No, don't. I liked it. It was beautiful.
Thank you.
And Frank Turner. I mean, if I got put on the desert island now, at least I'd have the memories of going to his gigs. Oh my god, the fact that the last gig I went to before lockdown was Frank Turner, I think that's monumental as well. It was a few days before lockdown, and we were we probably shouldn't go,
Mhm.
because we didn't know there was going to be a lockdown, but we were like, oh, COVID numbers are rising. We probably
We didn't
should
really
go.
realise what it was then.
No,
It was still this thing that was going to be done in a few weeks.
yeah, and this was the thing. I didn't actually buy tickets because I thought, oh, I'm not sure. And then this woman offered us free tickets if we picked them up from my house, and I was like, this is a sign, I'm fucking going. Yeah, so I don't know if I gave her money then. I don't think I did, because she said, oh, you're a student, take them.
Oh.
I think she said her kid was a student, and she was like, I just, her husband had an autoimmune disease and was like was quite poorly or whatever, so she was just like, we can't risk it, but we just want somebody else to enjoy it, which was really sweet.
That is quite sweet.
We went, and I think we wore masks, and I might be wrong. It's so weird to think back.
It's a memory from the before times.
Yeah, from the before.
You know.
But yeah, no, at least I'd have, like, it would. I went to see Frank Turner in first year, and there's just different points that I can remember from listening to him. But yeah, no, that's cool. And then, so this is a bit of a change of. This is not in a particular order, by the way, because this would be really fucking random. I've got my.
No, but I actually quite liked it. I listened through them and I was like, oh, this is alright. This is good.
Billie Eilish, My Strange Addiction.
Yes.
I just thought, if I'm on a desert island, I'm gonna have some really weird, like, cravings, aren't I? I'm gonna. If I've got limited food. And
oh no, that'd be horrible.
I don't know what. Yeah, I don't know what I would be eating. And you'd get used to it, so then you would be addicted to something really random, like I don't know what type of desert I would die so quickly on a desert island that I wouldn't need to worry too much about.
I think we said it last time, but I can't remember if I did or not. Maybe I just said it to you. It's like the weird craving for, like, rice pudding, right?
Oh,
it hits me.
yeah.
Imagine I'm on a desert island and suddenly I'm like, oh, I'd love some rice pudding, and then I didn't have any.
You've got to find something that, like,
what am I gonna do?
soothes that crave. But yeah, I was just sort of envisioning myself, like,
Now I want
eating.
rice pudding.
For fuck's sake.
Played myself.
Again, I don't know why coconuts. I think that's the thing, when you think of desert island, you think of
Palm trees, coconuts.
Why do I keep saying desert? Have I said? I think I've said that a couple of times now.
What?
Instead of deserted, or was desert island? Am I being stupid?
I don't know what you're trying to get at.
Is the phrase desert island, or is it deserted island?
I think the phrase is desert island.
Okay,
I think you've been fine all this time. For some reason, you just
I
overthought
thought I
it.
was being, like, really dyslexic then, and, like, had seen deserted island and read it as desert island, and then I just suddenly, like, panicked that I've been wrong my whole life. Okay.
This is not the time for the existential crisis.
Oh, kill me. Okay. Yeah, I just have this idea in my head that I'm, like, addicted to coconuts or something really random again. And I'm walking around singing My Strange Addiction. Just, like, singing to a coconut.
I'm trying to imagine you on this desert island. I think we'd probably have to sail away again if I saw you doing this. I'd be like, she needs some time. Let her get through this.
As you can tell by this playlist, I think I'm having a great time on the desert island.
Yeah,
I'm, like, vibing.
you're having a time.
Shut up! I'm having such a good time. Alright, I'll leave you on the island of Keen, shall I?
Right, it's a fucking sad island. It's weird going back to this, listening to Billie like this, because I keep thinking about her latest album.
Yeah.
And then when I go to this, I'm just like, oh yeah, Oh, huh? It plays with my mind because her latest album is like, I don't know. I can't put it into words.
I've still barely listened to it. I'm just like, I'm just waiting till I feel in the mood, till I feel ready.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still like her. It's still her. It's just like, it's that thing of like, it's someone who's matured again. You know, like
Yeah.
it's like the Tom Grennan thing again. It's like it's still her. It's just it's a different sound. But I love it, and this I you know what I never get over? It's the fact that she was so young, and she
Yeah.
made something like this album, When We All Fall Asleep, Where Do We Go? And it's like, how?
It's
How did you
phenomenal.
have that? What do you do? How? Like, I can. I was trying to write something the other day. I had this like basic idea, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna like try and write something here. So I like plugged in my keyboard and stuff and did all stuff, and I was like, just struggling, you know, like it wasn't, the ideas weren't working. I
Yeah.
had like ideas, but no, they weren't connecting, and I was like, it wasn't natural. So I just am forever like, oh my god,
In
you pulled
awe.
it out of your mind.
Yeah, she deserves a lot of respect. I believe. I believe.
Plus, I know that you love her, so there's no way she can't she's got to be on the island. Come on now.
Yeah, I do love her.
on.
Even though I haven't listened to any album.
Okay,
It's just
that's
because
fine.
everyone had so many opinions. I just needed to
It makes it difficult to listen.
Wait
Yeah, I think it's good.
till I could. Yeah, cool.
You want to be able to enjoy it properly, not with everyone else's
Exactly.
opinions on that.
Yeah, and it's hard when stuff gets shoved down your throat. Like, I can listen to Paradise for so long because it's on every
Yeah.
fucking advert. And like, if you take away from that, if you like step away, like now I can listen to Paradise and be like, yeah, boy. But but
At the time,
I
no.
just couldn't.
Oh,
It was awful. I hated
every
it.
TV show was
It was
using, you'd be like,
torture.
fuck off.
Yeah. I swear it's used on Disney Channel as well. I don't.
They used it everywhere. Oh man, I hate it when they kill a song like that.
One song that didn't get killed, which was nice, was Sucker Punch.
Queen.
I think of actually being in the car with Piers. Like, Piers and I, every now and again, our taste in music overlaps. And then when it does, that's what we listen to in the car together for long journeys, because we just got to try and find some. Like, we normally take turns at listening to stuff we both want to listen, like, each want to listen to, and then we listen to stuff we both want to listen to together. And just remember it was like summer, and we just drove because of festival and stuff. We spent a lot of time in the car, and yeah, Sucker Punch just reminds me
Wait,
of being.
Piers like Sigrid?
Yeah.
Oh, what a guy!
I know,
Oh.
I know. It is one of those ones when he told me, like, I was listening to Sigrid, and I think he started singing along. I was like, whoa, this is not normally your jam. Like, whoa. And he goes, yeah, Sigrid's great. And I went, oh, okay, I love you a bit more now. Yeah, so.
And now, dear readers, they're engaged.
I know. But no, like, Sucker Punch is just that. I don't know, memory of being in the car and singing with Piers is just a bit cute.
I love it. It gives me the same energy as Hurts Like Heaven, and that's that same kind of like,
Yeah.
let's go, let's fucking just do. And it feels very carefree, very happy, very. Well, I mean, as you know, I'm in love with Sigrid, so you know, it's kind of biased,
future wife.
future wife. I love it. It was like when I went to see her live, one of the best gigs I've been to for sure. She's like just awesome to watch live, because it's like you have so much energy. You're constantly, and like you're just unashamedly like mum dancing, and I love it. And
she fangirls over other people's music, which is just so
Oh,
sweet.
man. I love it.
I
It's
think
just
she
like
did a
seems like
cover
this
of Adele.
you know, can we add someone to the we have to protect Jordan McCamper, and we have to protect
Sigrid. Yeah, because I feel like Sigrid's just so just so innocent and sweet. And
Yeah.
actually, we know that she's not, but like, I don't. She.
It was like
Yeah.
the most recent song she's done, the Mirror and Burning Bridges. and it
Mirror,
was like,
yeah.
Who
yeah.
has hurt you?
I
Tell
know.
me,
I
and
will
we'll
hunt
kill
them
them.
down.
We'll
Yeah.
get rid of them for you.
And
like-
knowing Sigrid, they were probably like a really nice person as well, and like it was probably something like out of their control because
Yeah.
like I just feel like
She's probably
surrounded
over it
by
now,
positive
right? She's
people.
She's probably processed it. She's over it, and I'm there like, fucking
I
tell
will
me who
kill
it
them.
was. Tell me.
Yeah,
Give me names, addresses, phone numbers.
yeah,
I love Sigrid is I need more Sigrid music in my life. Since we got those singles last year, I'm just like, come on, give me an album.
yes.
I love her. That's okay.
And 2022, summer of 2022, I'm hopeful for. I need it to be.
Please.
I need some.
Please.
I feel like there's gonna be some serious tunes dropped this summer. I don't
Please,
know
I
why.
would love
I've just
that.
got this gut feeling that there's gonna be some shit hot stuff. Because I feel like last year was a bit quiet on that front.
It was. There was a couple of like things that were dropped, and I was like, I like where this is going. I like where this is going. I like what, because it's like people are clearly been working on stuff over lockdown and things.
Yeah.
But I feel like I think it's so like at that time it was like very much lockdowns. I feel like people are starting to write things because at some point in the hopefully not too far off future, like things like live gigs and things might become more possible. So
Yeah.
you know, people are getting ready to write these bangers that are going to be, you know, sung on tour and like sung at the top of your voice at 10 o'clock, whatever. Like, you know, it feels like we're getting ready for that. So I like you. I'm very excited for another year of bops, as you would say.
Yeah. 100%. Sorry, I keep playing with a needle and I just dropped it.
I was going to say, I feel like you're definitely distracted by something and I can't work out what it is. What's it doing?
Yeah, I can't even explain to you what I was. I'll explain to you in a couple of weeks what I was doing, if that
All right.
helps. Wedding stuff.
All right.
But yeah, yeah, that that'll just kill me.
Fucking hell,
me.
Come on, get through this.
New Year, same mate.
Yeah, well, it's the same here, to be honest. Relatable content.
Right, next one. Similar vibe. Yonica, Seize the Power.
It had to be on
Again,
that, right?
I struggled choosing one Yonica song. Like I just didn't know what to go for, and then I thought, while we're at it, while we're being a boss ass bitch on this desert island, I need the bitch mode, boss mode anthem. What's wrong with me? It's like, I think with the nasally thing, it's kind of like a posh person trying to be chavvy. I don't know. It's just
Is there going to be a
boss
point in
ass
this
bitch.
podcast? There's going to be a point. There's a point where it all fell apart, and I don't know where it was. I'm going to. Whatever that point was where it all went wrong, I want to find it because this podcast is going to be split into two halves. It's the really good half where we're really on it.
Just so bad at explaining things, and then I don't know what's happened. I've just lost my ability to speak like in comprehensive sentences. I don't know what it is. I keep every time I say a sentence, I keep doubting whether it makes sense or not. And I don't know whether to be one of the... You know when somebody uses a word wrong, but they're so confident that you sort of just go along with it? I feel like I should be one of those people. I cause myself more problems by being, like, scared of potentially saying the wrong thing, that I fuck it up so I'm just gonna be like assertively wrong. I'm trying so hard to ignore you so that I don't lose it myself. Because if I lose it, that's game over. It's game over. Stop, because I will crack. I'm trying so hard.
So...
What is that laugh?
So... Anyway, so Seize the Power by Yonica.
Boss ass bitch energy.
I'm fine.
Okay.
I was
Banging
wondering which
song.
one you were gonna pick between this one and Raise Your Glass.
Oh yeah, I prefer Seize the Power. I feel like they promoted Raise the Glass more, but yeah, I don't know. Seize the Power, I just vibe to you more. I'm trying. There's something seriously wrong with my brain. I'm having so many
I need
cognitive
you.
issues.
I just need you to keep talking, and every time you stop, I can't help myself.
I
Oh,
started
okay.
doubting, like.
You've been fine. I don't know why you're doubting yourself. You've literally been fine. Like, you haven't said anything dumb or wrong or anything.
You know, you're like, raise your glass, raise a glass. Why does it matter? I know that that's literally what I was doing in that time. I was
Stop doubting yourself to be wrong. You're right. It's like
I'm making myself wrong. Fuck my life. Just fuck it all off.
Okay, we love Yonica. Okay, we're big
We
fans.
love
Again,
Yonica.
it's a band that you've been following for a while. I remember oh god, I said I remember and then immediately forgot the name of the song. Which is not my finest hour by any means. I wish you were somebody.
Oh yeah.
I think that was like the first one you showed me. And
that wasn't even like that early on in Yonica time, but wish you that was good. That was good.
That was
I
a good
listened
one.
to that on repeat to work a lot.
Mm-hmm. But I love them. We spoke about them before. We love that. We love their vibe and Teresa
They're a
and the
very
whole band.
attractive band. That
They
you
are.
know, like, yeah, when they're all attractive, it's just not right.
It's not fair. It's not fair, really.
Stop being talented and good
You're
looking.
talented and attractive, and I've got spots on my forehead and can't keep a straight face. This isn't how it's meant to be.
Me with my runny nose right now, like. Right, next one. A bit of a fucking plot twist. And the thing is, I don't even feel like I can talk about the next two people. I feel like I should ban myself from talking about them purely because I'm gonna do them both a disservice by being a fucking idiot. Like, how can we talk about two legends?
How
when
can we
I
try and
can't
talk about
even
Nina
talk?
Simone when I'm falling apart and you can't talk?
Yeah.
I bet you're doubting yourself right now. You're like, is it Nina Simon?
No.
I can hear you doubting yourself, thinking about it.
No, I was just, I was just scared to speak. I'm just.
Look, we've made ourselves look like idiots before. I think it's our brand. I think we've just got to
Brilliant.
embrace it.
So Nina Simone makes me think about. I was having this conversation with Piers yesterday. So it makes me think about being at my nan's house, and I don't even know if she really played Nina Simone that much, but it's just the soulfulness and the not wholesomeness, like homeliness,
Mm.
that you get from Nina Simone's voice that I guess makes me think of her house. I don't know. She loves Nina Simone, but I don't remember her necessarily playing her a lot. Maybe she did. I don't know.
Mm.
But it was just one of those things with like a connected memory that it makes you happy.
Definitely, it's she's a legend. I don't think anyone would say that she wasn't a legend.
No. Sorry, I wasn't saying no. She's not a legend.
No, I knew what you were saying. It definitely. She's just kind of iconic.
Yeah, and this was the thing when I was like, I want to put Nina Simone in because like that. It's just that feeling of home, and I might, if I was on a desert island, again, it's just fuck my life. If I was on a desert island, I don't know if I would want to be reminded of home for the first few weeks. But once, maybe first few months, once I'd accepted that I was there and that was my life, I'd be like, oh, it's nice to remember what it felt like being nostalgic.
Mm. No, why would you do that to yourself? I could hear. Oh,
say it right.
Nostalgic.
Nostalgic. Fuck my. This is where we find out I'm having a seizure or something, and I just can't like. Like there's something like cognitively wrong with me, like.
Oh my god! Now I see. This is the weirdest thing about your design. I'm having to jump in and say something just to save you.
Yeah.
No, you know what? I love Nina Simone. I think she has this just soulful voice that just works so well, and like, I've never realized Cinnamon is 10 minutes long.
Is it?
Yeah.
Fuck
it's
me.
10 minutes
10 minutes
long.
and 22 seconds. Jesus, I never realised. It
doesn't feel like 10
that.
minutes at all.
No.
I'm just lost in it.
That's
like, this
genius.
Is...
Well, I looked through so many of her songs and couldn't decide. And to be honest, I sort of picked Cinnamon out of frustration from not being able to pick. I was like, classic, done. But it's just so intelligent as well. I was just and I wanted one that she wrote herself as well. That was another thing because she had quite a few songs written for her, and I wanted one that she wrote herself. So that is why I chose Cinnamon.
Well, and then of course, seeing as we're already making ourselves, I feel like they're here in the room with us. And they're like waiting for us to say something really intelligent, and we're like, I like your music.
You play
it's
piano
good.
well.
It made me happy.
Your voice is nice.
So yeah, Nat King Cole.
Right, I went through a Nat King Cole stage in first year of uni. How it was actually around this time. It was Christmas period. I think it was like from sort of November to about February. The first year, I just went to this weird like obsession. Like Nat King Cole's been there my whole life, and all of a sudden I just fell in love. Ironically,
I think he's very much a kind of winter kind of like. His songs just work so well in winter.
Yeah.
Like Christmassy, and then through that whole like thing, they're just like chill, kind of calming, the kind of thing that you can imagine. Like if I lived in a house where I had a fireplace, I'd like have a fire going, have the lights on, and be like warm, and like you kind of want it to be snowing outside a little bit. It very much has those vibes, which is it's like winter survival music, Trying to get through the winter months, you just need something to get you through.
During the same period of time where I had that like really shitty HP laptop that cost about 200 quid new.
Oh, Christ.
That had like 32 gigabytes of memory, and it was just like
one of your worst choices.
Oh yeah, terrible. It's fucking hell. But I used to put a video of a fireplace on it.
Oh, I love that.
And cook in the kitchen, and then listen to Nat King Cole, and I just felt like very cool. And you know what first year flats are like? They're just not homely. Like they're just
There's no people try their best to make them homely. They will never be homely.
But in that moment when I was listening to Nat King Cole, I felt like wrapped up in a warm bubble of beautifulness. I don't know. And the reason why I chose Love was I got really drunk and the friend sang this at an open mic night. And I don't know, it was just a really nice memory. I was dying of embarrassment the whole way through, but I just think
I can imagine it being the kind of song you could get drunk and sing.
Yeah, it was just I don't know, it was just nice. And I think with Love, it's just cute.
It is.
It's just,
it is.
I paid, like, oh my god, my education. I paid so much money to describe music as fucking cute.
You're having a stroke. I think I've just accepted it. Well, thank you for coming to the last episode of the World's Rights podcast. Kat, after this, is going straight into the morgue, so...
Do you think I can get my, degrees, retracted? Taken off?
Well, I wouldn't try and find out if you can, because they definitely will be after today's performance. Between you and I, we're going to lose a lot of money after this episode.
Oh.
Jesus. No, you know what? It is... It's a nice way to finish the playlist, you know?
Yeah.
I know you said it's not really in particular order, but you do kind of go on a little adventure through, and that's a nice way to end up at the end.
Yeah.
It's good.
Back
it gives me
home.
good vibes. Back home. You've been to the deserted island. With your nostalgia, whatever. And your nostalgia and your cute music, and now you're home again. What's wrong with you? You were doing so well.
No, I don't. Normally I start badly and pull it together towards the end, but I just...
It's like halfway through you suddenly contracted anxiety. And you just couldn't shake the fact... You just consistently convinced you were wrong when you were right, and you managed to make yourself wrong. And I can barely keep it. I'm trying so hard not to laugh right now. I'm gonna need anything from you right now. I'm gonna need some sign of life from you. How are you doing?
You don't understand.
Jesus Christ.
Just before you started talking, I took a sip of water and I missed my mouth.
Fucking hell.
And then it all went down me, and then because you were still talking, I was trying not to laugh, and I was trying to not spit out the water that I did get in my mouth. What's wrong with me? I don't even... And the thing is, I'd slightly missed my mouth before, but I just sort of
Have you
played
been
it
missing
off.
your mouth the whole way through this podcast?
I don't know what the fuck is wrong with me. I'm going to be driving to the shops after this. I'm a bit...
You're fucking not like this. Jesus.
Oh,
You're going to end up in a ditch at this point.
If I have an accident and the insurance company is trying to find ways to not pay out, they're like, clearly you were going through some...
We've heard your podcast, and what the hell happened to you? You clearly shouldn't have been driving like this. Oh my god.
For fuck's sake.
Well,
Right,
thanks for coming to the first episode of 2022.
As if that was the first podcast of the fucking year. And it marks a year since we did the fucking podcast. I am such an arsehead. And when this airs...
Arsehead!
I got a DNA test from Christmas. I'm gonna come back as an oyster or something with no fucking... I'm actually literally pitying myself right now. I'm not even angry. I'm just like, I feel sorry for myself.
There are people listening to this trying to fall asleep.
I'm sorry. No, because they would have been led. They'll be like dozy because they've got to halfway through and then it falls apart, and then they're just gonna have the last 20 minutes of us just cackling. Beautiful. We have made a masterpiece. Oh my god. I think somebody should sample your laugh and use it for some fucking Halloween episode of some cartoon. It's like a witch. Oh my god. I can't. Stop! There's something wrong with you. Don't try and pull it together. Don't try and pull it together.
So thanks for listening to the podcast this week.
My face hurts.
No, I can do this. I can do this.
No, you can't.
So thanks for listening to this week on the World's Race podcast. We'll be back in a couple of weeks with something far more on topic. And we love you, and we'll see you then. So
bye. You don't get a bye. You get a bye.